goes blank. And the next thing I know, he's running down the tier, and I'm running behind him. And he runs past the door and he slammed the door. Well, one of the guards picked up a club and hit me in the head. And
so one of the guards did try to help him.
Well, later he ran down into the lockbox and got a club, and then ran back. And he cocked me in the head when I was running after Clutch.
Did you stab him?
No, I just backed up. I could have, but he was always all right with me. By then, after I was running after him and stuff, I was out of that. I wasn't, it was like a big weight lifted off me. It was over. I didn't want to, I could have, I could have done it, but
you did?
No.
You calmed him down?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Well, he slams the door, and the goon squad comes, and he asks me for the knife. And so I tell them no, and they're all, give us a knife. And I tell them no. And I want something guaranteed that ain't nothing gonna happen to me. And so they got a lieutenant down there.
So they don't come in, they don't say, okay, buddy, and they don't come in and deck you and floor you and everything else, they're still behind there.
Yeah. And so a lieutenant comes over and he tells me, you just give us a knife and just go to your cell and lock up and nothing will happen. So I give him the knife, I go to the cell. And
okay. Did you believe him or did you just figure, well, I don't have much choice here?
Yeah.
They're eventually going to get him anyway, so. Yeah. I mean, what were your feelings?
That was about it. Plus, that's not me though. See, I did what I did and I didn't want no more. I don't want to be told, if you're going to tell me, yeah, I'm not going to sit there, well, I want you anyway, come on in here, coppers. I can't stand it. And plus, I'm in no position to really argue.
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered. They can come in there and shoot me if they want to, so. I just didn't, the way that they were huffing and puffing me, and I seen the look on their face, I just knew I just better get some kind of reassurance.
You want them to at least calm down to realize that they just can't come in and work you over or kill you.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Then I go lock up.
And what happens then? They come in and they get the knife?
Well, I already give the knife.
Okay, then what happens after?
Then they take me into the office. They handcuff me and take me into the office. And
did anybody beat you up at that point?
No.
Okay.
Nobody touched me. I didn't get messed with until later after they took me out. But they took me into the office and the FBI was there. And the FBI asked me what was happening.
FBI was already there?
Yeah. Well, this is sometime later, after I locked up, some time passed. And
okay, do you know at this point the guy's dead?
No.
Okay.
They just took him out.
What's going on with the other convicts?
As far as what?
Do they see this? Are they yelling? Are they screaming? Are they talking to you? Are they just ignoring it? What? Do they know?
Well, one guy was out on the range, but I don't think the rest of them, you can't really see because they got them, what do they call them? Box cars. We call them box cars. They got a door in front where you can't really let down a tier like you can with regular cells. I don't really remember.
Okay. You're not thinking about that. What are you thinking about?
I wasn't thinking to think.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, mainly I was wondering when they were going to come in. What was going to happen next.
Sure. Are they going to come in here and beat me? What? That kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah. Because, this is another thing too. You're out there in Okiesville. All these guys are farmers and whatever they do, they all drink together and party together. And they run it like that. You mess with one, you got to mess with all, and all that kind of stuff. So you expect some kind of retaliation, I guess.
Does that surprise you, or do you have any feelings about it? Is that good, bad, whatever? Does that surprise you that if you mess with one, you got to take them all on?
It's kind of strange because you're not, when you're on the streets, you don't look at a law enforcement like that. You know, as a kid, you always look at, some kids say, oh, I want to be a policeman, you know, and you think cops and officials like that are real upstanding, law-abiding type of people, and they run by the rules and regulations. You don't really expect them to be real clannish and real Gestapo-like.
You expect them, if they're going to be cops and they choose to play that game, they choose to be the good guys and live by the rules, you expect them to live by those rules.
Right.
And not cross over and live by someone else's rules.
Right.
They're not supposed to be the kind who steal your stuff or mess with your paintings or come down and beat you up.
Yeah.
The rules say you don't do that.
Well, not only that, but I can see, now if I spit on you and then you got something to spit on me for, but just because I'm there and you got some kind of weird trip, I don't understand that. I don't understand. That's why I couldn't do that to them guys in hostages. I couldn't see myself just walking up there and just doing something to somebody just to do it. I wouldn't tear up your writings just to be doing it. It's like some kids that pull wings off butterflies or burn cat's tails. That was never my trip as a kid. Why do some kids choose to do that to animals and stuff? I don't know. And my perception of law enforcement is like law enforcement. And that's what they play on when it goes too far. And then they push people where they react like I did. And then they accuse us of being killers and maniacs. But they don't tell you what leads up to all that, what they do in the meantime. Then they jump behind the badge and say, oh, we're just doing our job. And we're just they don't tell you about how they called you all kinds of names, messed with you for 3 years, and you know, had you all chained down and sprayed mace in your face and hit you on your nuts and took clubs and beat you.
Did that happen to you?
Yeah, a lot of times.
By clutch?
Yeah, it should, yeah.
Tying you down?
Well, not right then with him personally, but that's happened over the years with different goon squads and stuff. You just, this is what I'm trying to say too in this thing right here. It's just not clutch, it's just not this one incident. This has been going on, this is why so many prisoners have empathy for me, because they've been in these situations or seen it. They've been on the chairs where this goon squad comes in and they act not in an organized manner. They'll tell you, oh, we have a specific way of grabbing them, and yeah, they do to get you down, but then ask them why they beat you after you're down, or keep you chained in that bed for days in and days out. And that stuff works on your mind year after year. You see your buddies getting that treatment, and you hear how they talk to you, or pull you out and want to skin search you and tell you to bend over and spread your asshole and stuff like that. No, men's got pride on whether he's a prisoner or not. This stuff wears on your mind, where it's no more, they're not law, you don't look at them as law enforcement anymore, like you do as when you're a citizen. And you see them in a different law-abiding way. You see them for how they are. And you don't treat them the same as you would.
And how they are is, I mean, all of them aren't this way.
No. If there was, man, we'd really be in trouble. I think that's why I told you, I don't think that someone would put their neck out enough to kill somebody, even if they wanted to, because some of them are decent enough to kick back and not go for it. You know, they might get in trouble. But it's not the same, and it's hard to tell people that.
Did the FBI listen to this? Did they listen to your explanation?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
Nothing. I just told them, you know, they want to know if it was some kind of strike or demonstration. I told them, no, it's just a personal thing with me and him.
Did they tell you he had died?
No.
How did you find that out?
I think it was on the news or something.
No one in the system told you?
Yeah, when I was down in the hole, but it came later. Somebody you can call down in the hole. Somebody else saw it on TV.
And so a fellow convict yelled or told you that he died?
Yeah.
What did he say? Did he say good job, or did he say, hey, the guy died, or what?
Well, nobody, I don't know anybody in there like Clutch. You know,
Staff and others.
I don't know about
Staff, but
I don't think anybody likes a bully. If the staff said they liked him, it was just Just
camaraderie.
Yeah.
And what did you feel like when you found out he was dead?
I don't know, mixed feelings. I still got him. I still dream about him. You know, it's not a, I don't know, I just wish it had never happened. I just wish he would have listened to me. You know, when I told him, Chris, you don't know who you're messing with, man. I got forever in prison, and I'm not going to sit in this cage and let you house me day in and day out like this and threaten me. You know, you better get out of my case.
And that antagonized him more.
Oh, yeah, and you ain't going to show me. I was on this joint, rah, 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 rah. I'll do whatever I feel like doing. Yeah.
Did you see it coming like a train coming? You just knew where it was going, but...
Yeah, but I'm still, you still think, man, these people are supposed to be law and order. You know, they're the ones that's supposed to, you know, be the good guys, supposed to be. You know, why is he doing this? You know, what's his trick? I had mixed feelings about that, because he had all the aces in his car. They could have done whatever they felt like doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what was the point? Why do this? And you think it originally related back to the fact that this other guy, and that he was angry about him, and he transfers it over to you, and his whole attitude. And, you know, he's just one of these guys who for some reason is going to get on your case.
And he liked to make that a point and show off to the other guards.
It's years the guy who killed Cadillac Smith, and I can be tough with him.
Yeah.
You say you dream about it? What do you mean?
Yeah. I've dreamt about him for years. I just see him in my dreams a lot of times. I see his wife a lot too. I feel real bad for her.
How do you know about his wife?
Well, I seen her in court. She came in court hearing.
What did she do? Did she look at you? Was she crying?
Yeah, her and her daughter, I think it was. I think he's got a daughter or something. She was crying and stuff. And I was thinking, man, she looked like a real nice lady. You know, I'm thinking, man, you know, how could this creep be married to her? But I was thinking, you know, he's just got family too. Yeah, it was weird sitting there watching her go through that trip. But then, you know, it's real guilty because everybody just hears how mean and rotten I am for doing that. And like he was just, they put him behind the badge again, like he was just doing his job, keeping these dangerous prisoners, you know, in line. You know, and it wasn't like that at all, man. That guy got off on making people's lives miserable. And you're sitting there and you're listening to everybody talk bad about you, and you know, like you're scum on earth, that you don't have any compassion for anybody, you're just a mad dog, killer. And what was, you know, I never tortured anybody.
And you feel like he was?
Oh, I'm sure he was.
And the person who was tortured, obviously, is you. Yeah. Every day. And none of that ever came out? Did anybody ever believe your side of it?
Nobody's, I told my story, and see, and this is another thing about the law, I brought witnesses for the last 3 years to testify all these events, because nothing really happened there that people never heard of, because we're all right there together.
Right. Witnesses of the convict?
No, they said the only witnesses I could call was the people that was on the scene at the time.
Okay.
I said, well, if you just look at it at the scene at the time, I look like a maniac. It's like me and you arguing, and all of a sudden you call me a name, and I just punch you out.
Yeah.
I just look like a hothead. But if I can't show what you did to me for 3 solid years, where it just built and built and built and built, you know.
Exactly. They come to you at that point and say, well, where are all the BP nuts? Why didn't you report them?
Yeah.